Hey everybody, Andrew Reynolds from FindYourFuels.com. I'd love to answer another one of your questions, but once again it's time for a rant. There's a phrase, a concept out there that I'd really love to help bring back into reality because honestly of the damage it's causing. And that phrase, ironically, is being a hard worker. Now, I grew up with that phrase, that was the holy grail of everything you needed to be, that regardless of your talents, regardless of what made you you, if you were a hard worker, the world would be your oyster. Nothing would be a problem. And if anyone has tried as hard as they can to make that a reality, it's been me, and I'm sure it's been you many times as well. But did you ever feel like a bicycle trying to outrace a motorcycle? There's two humans on top, but one tool takes a lot of hard work to get there, and one tool just takes a little flick of the wrist and you're off. And with our talents as a tool, sometimes that can be the real difference between a perception of a hard worker and a perception of someone who's not giving it their all. Now let's think in those terms of motorcycle versus bicycle. The bicyclist, I guarantee you, is working their tail off to even try to match a quarter of the performance of that motorized vehicle. But it's just not going to happen. And our talents can give us such an edge that we don't realize how hard it will be for others to match our pace and our pitch. You know, I've helped out in the past with a volunteer sporting team, and they needed an announcer to kind of hype up the crowd as they were performing. And regularly up in front of a couple hundred people, and it was fine for me. Now, for me to try to train somebody else without the knowledge that I'm kind of gifted in that area, and I kind of like it, would be terrible. Because I'd be like, you idiot, what's wrong with you? Who gets a chance to do this? This is fun. I wake up thinking about this. Is there something wrong with you? Oh, wait, maybe you're just not a hard worker. Now, take me off of my rant and put me on any manufacturing line where very skilled hands very regularly make the products that we all use every day, and I will very quickly be an idiot. And not a good one. And that's not a compliment. Each of our skills, misplaced, require hard work. So let's redefine hard work. Hard work is the distance between talent and expectation. Because if you're really far away from that expectation, you just don't have that talent, you will have to exert hard work. But to think of it in those terms, doesn't that rebrand it a little bit? That it's not even so much a matter of commitment or professionalism, but it's just a difference in expectation and reality. Can we really say that? That the problem with the term hard worker is that if we don't nail down what the reality is, the expectation can be off so much that you not only damage a worker's ego and their confidence, but you might miss out on a great opportunity. There are many times I've been passed over in past work experiences for a leadership position because they had their standard ladder of achievement where if you were a great worker, you know what, perhaps you can teach others to do what you do best. But how many times have you seen someone promoted to a leadership position and they just don't really like teaching? They get frustrated quickly and they'd much rather do it themselves, get out of the way. And then they, of course, file the report that you didn't learn what you learned. Teaching is a very specific skill set. Doing is a very specific skill set. There are different kinds of brilliance. And you take that brilliance and put it somewhere else, they will have to exert hard work to do that. So really on the flip side for us who are managers and leaders, if we're just going by the pure scale of perceived hard work, we're actually kind of indicting ourselves because we're seeing before us the amount of hard work that our employees have to exert to do what we want them to do is the distance between perception and reality. The reality is, if you're not well placed for that job, you will have to exert more hard work than other people. And what takes somebody, in that motorcycle analogy, a flick of the wrist to accomplish because of the tools that they have available would take a lot of pedaling and a lot of exertion. It's like a semi-truck delivering pizzas. It's a hulking, multiple ton vehicle, a behemoth of a delivery vehicle, but it's not made for the job, and it'll have to use up so much gas and so much time and so much carefulness to get through the neighborhood that it's just a bad idea. It's the exact same sensibilities for your jobs and for work and career. So Once again, I'm not just here to burst your bubble, but really give some thought. If you have been the kind of leader, or if you've experienced those people and branded it on yourself that I just need to be a harder worker, take some time to think. And you know what? I don't do these videos to sell what we do, but if you're having trouble understanding what those tools are, please come by findyourfuels.com and help you discover what those talents are, to place yourself more organically in the working world. Because I like to tell people, it's not the distance between where you wake up and where you show up, but the distance between who you wake up as and who you show up as. If you have to put on a face and be somebody else every time you come to work, it's exhausting. You use up so much valuable time, talent, and resources to do it. But if you understand what that tool is, who needs it, and how to find them, and if the distance between, imagine, if you had a career somewhere and you lived right around the corner, well, you just go home for lunch, you wake up, you go right to work. It's easy. You don't have to drive an hour to get anywhere. It's all very convenient. That same feeling can be yours if you understand what kind of motivates you and who needs those kinds of characteristics. That's why we spend so much time ranting today about this whole hard work thing, because it's completely taken out of context and it causes these whole conversations about nothing. We're not talking about reality, we're talking about expectations and how they're not being met. And if those expectations aren't realistic, and if you hear the words hard worker many times, chances are they're not, we're getting nowhere fast. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. Subscribe as always. We love that, and hope this has been a help for you. We'll see you next week.